Right now, we are set for the big one. This is exciting, isn't it? I am very excited for this show. We are going to bring out some faces that you've heard their voices, but now you need to see their faces. You need to experience this. Are we ready for Rebels? Are we ready for Rebels? Well, then all we want to do, though, let's get ready to rumble it. Let's get ready for Rebels! Let's bring him out, shall we? He's Ezra! He's a rebel! He's Taylor Gray! What's up, Star Wars Celebration? Come on, let's hear it for him. She is Sabine! Oh, the ladies love her, the guys dig her. She is Sia Cigar. Let's hear it for Tia! Come on! This guy, Zeb, who loves Zeb? If you love Zeb, you gotta love Steve Blue. Oh, and one of the most talented female voice actors out there, just a doll and lovely and a huge Star Wars fan. She plays Hera, Vanessa Marshall. Sure. He is Kanan. He is a Jedi. He is strong in the Force. He is Freddie Prinze Jr. We have some special surprise guests, because you see we got a couple extra seats here. So I want to bring out one of the producers here, one of the very important people in the world of Rebels, but also in the world of Star Wars, Mr. Simon Kinberg. Let's hear it for him. This is a new face for you. You may not know him. He's done some work on another show that was out before called Clone Wars. He's a personal friend of mine. And he is an amazing person in the world of Star Wars, and we have a lot to thank him for. He is Mr. Dave Filoni. One more time for our rebels here, come on! Have a seat. Thank you all for being here and joining me on this stage. It's a small stage. We try to provide for you. I'm sorry. We got a small turnout. Hey, these are the best seats in the house.
Lucky.
Now, some of you guys have not been to Celebration before, correct? Wow, many of you. What's it like so far? Just anybody? Anybody got a thought?
This is the first 5 seconds of it, and it's pretty crazy seeing all you guys out there. So thanks for showing up.
Good to be home. Good to be home with my family.
It's really, really big. Really big.
Now, before we dive into all of this, we have a lot to cover, and the time is going to go by fast. So, Dave, can you just kind of set the ground? Can you give us a little something? Tell us about season 1 and how it all kind of came together.
Well, season 1, you know, we were kind of moving beyond what we had done in Clone Wars, and we were targeting time period, and we knew we wanted to work between episode 3 and 4. So the main theme there really was Rebels, and I think something that we all wanted to explore was, well, what about a Jedi kid that grows up and there is no Jedi Order to find him? What do they do? Kids don't stop being born with the Force just because the Empire's taken over. So we kind of formulated a story based around a boy, and Simon wanted it to be a family dynamic and living on a ship, and all the kind of things that we had grown up with in the era of A New Hope. You know, that sense of living on the Falcon, a group of friends together that felt like a family, being chased by Galactic Empire. All those things were different ingredients than we had really done on Clone Wars, which is very four-part arc, different character groups. So it just seemed a natural transition. And then by the end of it, you know, the diabolical plan came together because I got to put Ahsoka Tano in it because she would still be alive. So that all worked out.
And by the way, Simon, pleasure to meet you. This is our first meeting. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
How about you? How's this experience been for you working on this show?
Well, it's been amazing. I mean, I grew up on Star Wars. Star Wars was the reason I wanted to get into movies in the first place. So when I'd been working with the Lucasfilm folks on some of the features, and they came to me because they know I have two boys who love animated shows and now have grown up on Clone Wars. And asked me if I wanted to get involved, and I got so excited about it and excited about working with Dave. And we really built it from the ground up, like he said, and the thing that was the most important to us, other than the time period and this notion of sort of creating a family of characters that would live on a ship together, was the tone. Was making it as much like the original films as we could, to have the humor, the humanity, sort of velocity of those original movies. That was, as much as anything story-wise, it was the vibe of the show that we spent a lot of time trying to create, and Dave did such a fabulous job with all of our artists at creating an aesthetic, a look for the show that feels like the original movies, but also has its own aesthetic to it as well. It's based on a lot of the original art.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we like what they came up with, don't we? Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. But I want this now to be for anybody. You all jump in, your family, you can cut each other off, beat each other up, that's all right. For all of you, how does it feel to be adopted and admired by this Star Wars community? Anybody got any thoughts right off the bat?
I feel very nurtured.
It's
like,
amazing. Best fans in the world.
yeah, you're like one giant mother holding me. I love it. You guys are incredible.
You know, you guys got a little bit of this last year at Star Wars Weekends. And I remember that expression the first time you came out on a stage and there was, you know, thousands of people looking and cheering for you and you're like, what? And so this is the most loving group of people you ever find, Star Wars fans. You are wonderful fans. You so love this, it means something to you, and then you put it back on these people. So your appreciation of Star Wars has changed. Has it changed much now, working in this?
For me, I mean, this scar on my chin is from playing Star Wars. So,
Really?
Yeah.
But, okay, you can't just say that, you gotta give the story.
We bit this flagpole, if not like a flagpole, little flagpole, back and forth until it snapped. And I was Luke, my cousin Chris was Vader, and I was sliding down the slide, and the flagpole hit the ground before I did. My mom had to witness this, and she saw me get so many injuries. It literally was like, put him in a car, let's go, come on. It just threw me out. So I had the appreciation, but it's gotten real deep. Like, you do this, and I didn't start Twitter until Star Wars, and I was like, hey, I'm on this show, check it out, it's Rebels. And like in a week, I was doing full-on like Twitter role-play sessions as Kanan with like Imperials trying to kill me, and I'm like, oh, you think you're gonna kill Kanan? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Let me tweet this at you. I need more characters. Here's a second tweet. And I just jumped in, man. I love it. So thanks. If you guys are out there and you do that RP, you guys rock, right on, and I'll do it with you. So.
That scar thing on his, that scar thing on his chin happened like 2 weeks ago, just so you know.
Taylor, how about you? How's this been? I mean, you know, new kid on the block with this character, like this young character, fresh out of
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so fun because it's cool talking to kids and seeing what they feel about this because they are the main people who watch the show. I mean, everyone watches the show, it seems like. But it's so fun and it's Star Wars. Everyone loves it, which is the coolest part.
Yeah. Atia, this is, I mean, your character is so strong for ladies, they love it. How is that for you?
Pretty good. I have said this before, but I had seen the original trilogy when I was a kid, and I knew at the time that it was a big deal, but I don't think I really knew. And so once I got this job is when I went and I was like, oh, I need to do as much Star Wars homework as I possibly can. So I started watching Clone Wars. So serendipitously, it was at the same time that Clone Wars got on Netflix, and I was like, oh, this works out great. So I started watching binge watching Clone Wars. And I rewatched the original trilogy, and then I really understood, like fully understood what all the fuss is about. And so I feel like I can truly say now that I am a huge Star Wars fan. And my mom, in fact, now is a huge Star Wars fan. She watches Clone Wars on Netflix, she watches Rebels, and she calls me after every episode. She's like, I want to talk about Kanan, I want to talk about Ezra's parents, like the whole... And she said something to me which I thought was really special. She was like, you know what's great about Star Wars? You can come to it at any time in your life, and it doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is. You can come to Star Wars and be a full-fledged fan like my mom. You know, and it's an amazing thing.
And there's no judging. We all go, oh,
Yeah.
you saw it, you like it, come here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm going to start with you, Taylor, and we're going to go down the line. On a scale from 1 to 10, on a Star Wars fan scale, where would you have rated yourself before you started the show and now?
Okay, to be honest, don't hate me. I had only seen a few of the movies. Everyone here knows it. So I'd say a solid 3.
Okay.
3.3.
And now?
Now like a 303. I'd
Okay. Okay. Tia?
I'm gonna just say, based on sheer ignorance, I would be at like a 4.2, and now I'm at like a...
Got one up on him. So that's
Yeah, well, yeah. Always.
So sorry, and now? And now you are?
Oh, like what's the highest? 10?
10.
We're at a 10, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Blue.
I hate judgment. I don't like numbers. I'm not good with them. So mine is sort of a sliding scale because I had the distinction of being there opening weekend for A New Hope. So that I heard gives me some credit. Even though I'm completely ignorant about most things, I can't remember names. That I started with a little bit of cred going in. So I think I was solid 5 or 6 maybe,
Really?
if I have to put a number on it. And now, oh, it's 11 baby, all the way down.
Now, Vanessa, I kind of feel I already know this, but where are you at?
Probably 10 to begin with, and I don't think we have. It's in quantify. I mean, you can't.
No numbers.
You can't put a number on the infinity of feelings that I have. Clearly, I can't even speak. I'm so happy. Yeah, it's intergalactic.
Now, I gotta say, when I heard you were cast as Kanan, I was really excited because I knew that you were a big Star Wars fan. So I was thinking, I was putting myself in your shoes going, this has gotta be through the moon with this. So you were, I'm guessing, a pretty high number already to begin with on the scale.
Yeah, my mom taught me at a very young age, people are going to make fun of you no matter what, so just commit to what you love and don't care what anyone says. So, but yeah, so I embraced, liking the stuff I liked a long, long time ago. I mean, like I said, this is from Star Wars. It's not from a cool fight that I had. I'm not gonna tell you some fake story, but he got it worse than me. No, it was not. So I was an easy 10 going in, and I'm a 10 still to this day. But when Dave said this a long time ago when we first started, for my generation, this is and even older. Wow. Even though I have more gray hair than Steve does. But it's in your DNA at that point. So when you hear "May the Force be with you" as often as you hear "I love you, Mom," it works.
That's right. That's right. Now, Simon, do we need to ask? I mean,
I'd never seen a Star Wars movie until a couple of years ago. So I started a solid 1. My first memory, not of seeing a movie, but of life, was seeing New Hope. And I waited in line and slept in a sleeping bag the night before Empire Strikes Back came out, and was on the streets of Westwood Village in a sleeping bag. So I would say I was at a solid 10, and if that's the max, it's never going to go up or down. I'm at a 10 for life.
Okay, good. Dave, do we even need to go there?
I would say that they've all been very fair.
Yeah.
Knowing them, I think that's all true. I think of you all that way. with Taylor with the most to learn, which is just like Ezra.
Yeah.
With the Mandalorian obviously having to put herself over on the next person, which is very fair. Steve being kind of right in the middle. You're never really sure how much he knows or not.
Thank you.
This one, you know, I don't even know what to do with.
Super dork.
You know more, and it's amazing. You can almost challenge Pablo. I don't know. He's still the king. And then we've got you, which I will say. I mean, and everybody, Simon will remember this. We had to cast Rebels very, very quickly for our production. We had to get the show up and running so fast. So we only really, at the end of the day, what should take months, we had to do it in a matter of about a week.
Wow.
And everyone said we couldn't do it. It was going to be really impossible. But we had, you know, the tryouts weekend, your reads. Simon, Greg Weissman, and I were all pretty much unified. Every time we said this person, this person, this person, it was always the same people. And I just remember, especially Freddie's read, because he knew it was Star Wars, even though we had cleverly coded it something else. He just knew, I'm not sure how, it was so obvious.
Because you called the lightsaber a sun sword.
That was not me. That wasn't me. I don't know who did that. Wasn't that a Thunder the Barbarian thing? But anyway, Freddie's read was instant Star Wars to me. You had the swagger that we needed for our Jedi, which is a unique role. So you nailed it. And yes, I like Star Wars very much. So.
Yes, you do. I'm so glad you do. Okay, you kind of really covered some of this stuff, but I have some. No, it's great. You covered some of the dynamic. That's what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to ask you some questions, kind of towards you guys, but feel free to chime in and cut them off. Who's the jokester in this group?
Oh goodness. Jokesters, that's such a widely defined thing. I think Steve Bloom,
No.
for sure, yeah, I think so.
He's the least professional of our crew.
Yes, that's another way to put it. Thank you, Freddie. I think so.
Okay,
It's like a burp on cue.
can you give us a little burp on cue? And? Life of a voice actor.
Which one is that?
That's it. Okay. We kind of know who the Uber fan is, but Vanessa would be the Uber fan.
But I would say Freddie also. Freddie's is just a little less
Yeah.
overt.
Freddie's like a sniper.
Well, you know, to show how you never know who was in charge. Is it Hera?
I was gonna say, they
Kanan?
could
Is it
find
Hera?
out.
Is it Kanan? So it's kind of like that. Who knows more? Is it Vanessa? Is it Freddie? Is it Vanessa? So it's just like, they're just like the show. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Hopefully we compliment each other.
And we had it on Clone Wars too. It's really weird.
I know like 5 things about Star Wars really well, and then the rest of the world is like, catch him. So in my small pool, I know a lot. Outside of that pool, none.
Okay.
We make a good team.
Yes.
She's an encyclopedia.
Who's the easiest to mess with? Okay, I'll look at you. Let me stand over here so somebody at least you can then look over there. I'm so sorry.
It's just so good natured, he takes it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's out of
okay.
love.
It's teaching Star Wars. That's what we call it.
Have they-
teaching me Star
It's
Wars?
like the ultimate Padawan.
Have they pulled any tricks on you or anything? Anything you want to get them back for in front of 5,000 people?
It's too nice, we can't.
No, okay.
You know,
We're not cruel. We're not cruel.
And who's always on time?
Freddie.
Not Steve.
Okay. And
Go like this now, is it?
who's often late?
Not Steve.
No. I have things to do. I'm preparing.
Yes. Okay.
One of his 8,000 voices that he does.
Yeah, and Freddie, you bring up a good point. Now, Steve and Vanessa, both wildly popular in the world of voiceover and amazing voice actors. How is this show? Because with Clone Wars, we all felt instantly like a family. And it was very different than any other shows that we do. Is it the same thing for you guys here on the show now?
A gigantic family, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was an instant bond, I think. We all got along really well from the very beginning, except for me and Tia, but other than that, see, she's not even paying attention.
And Vanessa?
Yeah, I think it was really well cast in the sense that our energies, as we roam the earth, pretty much match the characters. So when you put us in a room together, I'm usually feeding people. He's teaching Taylor this, that, and the thing. You're talking football like chicks who are talking dude stuff, which we don't normally don't. And Steve's making fun, like Zeb, you know. Steve's making noises.
Now, okay.
It's a motley crew in real life too, so it's great.
For the rest of you, I mean, well, Freddie, you've done actually quite a bit of voiceover as well.
A little. Not like these two, but a little.
A lot where you're maybe more isolated, just yourself in the booth, so now you've got this whole family.
That's what makes this, I think, so special. It's like we go on a road trip once a week, right? From LA to San Francisco. It's like this 6-hour experience where we're all in an RV and we all get to hang out and do what basically is a radio show. We do the whole episode in order. So it's definitely a family vibe, whereas like for video games, when I did Iron Bowl or James Vega, that's like you're in a booth. And, hey, Iron Bowl love! That's a creepy scene if you played the game. But yeah, so there you're just isolated and you're either reacting to someone who's pre-recorded or to nothing, and they have to react to you, which is a supporting character in a game doesn't feel right. But anyway, this is all of us in one room, and it's like Dave, like everybody says, it's a family vibe. Steve's making noises, and if you do this take, it's like the best take you've ever done, right? Kane, it's giving you some real emotion, and it's this powerful moment, and as soon as I'm done, only it'll be like, I'll be crying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm upset, and it's like a powerful moment.
I don't have to do all our scenes together. Sometimes I kick half of the band. Sometimes I do. On the important scenes I do, that drives the rest of you nuts.
Yeah.
Because then I'll be like, all right, you all, half of you have to leave. I gotta do something with just Freddie and Vanessa today and dismiss you. Then you all wonder. I'll imagine you text us, what happened in that scene? What was going on? That was the whole thing with.
You see how Dave's a Sith Lord, right? You guys see that, right? You notice every time you ask him a question about anyone from Clone Wars, he just goes total Sith on you, right? He gives you no honest information. None. And any information he does give you is to lead you over there. There's
always truth in there. There's always truth in there. All right, everybody. Good and evil are a point of view, Freddie.
Yeah, okay. Filoni is Palpatine.
There was a reason we called him Master Filoni on the show. Now, for all of you, what do you feel your characters have learned over the course of the season?
Well, one, how to be a Jedi. Yeah. Which is the coolest. But he's also learned what family is, because he was so self-reliant and on his own. He's now embraced what a family is, and he now sticks up for other people, and it's been fun. But obviously the coolest is learning how to be a Jedi. And how to use a lightsaber.
And for all of us to learn while you're learning. I think that's been the greatest part of the show, hasn't it? Getting that kind of behind the scenes, and for kids experiencing Star Wars for the first time. Really great. Tia, how about you?
I think Sabine has learned sort of how to be a little more trusting. I think this is her family presently, and I thought that was a diplomatic way to answer that.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what that means, so just spoiler alert.
I don't know anything more than what I just said. But I think, Sabine in season 1 was the first, that was the most sort of suspicious of Ezra. Like, not suspicious, but just like the least welcoming, because, Kanan and Ezra have this bond, and of course, Hera's very, maternal, and Zed's like gives him a hard time, but doesn't mind him all that much. But I think Sabine was a little treads him a little bit, stops calling him like kid, and starts actually like calling him Ezra, And so I think she kind of learns to be a little more trusting of the people that she spends all her time with.
Excellent. Well, we have so much to cover. So I'm sorry if I can jump for a minute, Dave. Some way we can kind of sum up season 1, the finale, and all that. Some thoughts, and Simon, feel free to jump in.
The greatest finale ever.
Reaction. Let me ask you this. Let me really sum it up with this. What does the future bring?
You want me to talk about the future? They've done some great talk today, but it's always better. We spend all this time animating stuff and lighting it beautifully, my team, so it's better to look at stuff. So let's watch. How did you see what's to come? We can see it. And you haven't seen
No,
this.
of course not. Why would you let
I
us
showed you
see
the
it?
other day. I was in my office.
There's a big screen behind you.
You might want, yeah, you guys get down there. Mind your way. All right. So here's a look.
All right. Woo. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Hey, lot going on here. Dave, there was a couple characters there that I recognized. It was such a privilege to be on the show as Obi-Wan in the first episodes, and that was so great. But now we have some other Clone Wars alumni. And I think they're here in celebration. In fact, I think they're here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Eckstein and Dave. Hey, you two. Having fun? So,
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
So wait,
how does it, now it's time for a really dumb question. How does it feel? Ashley.
Oh my goodness, well, the secret was out for me after the season 1 finale. That was a hard secret to keep. I was recording one day in the recording studio, and in walks D. Bradley Baker. And I looked at Dave, and I mean, honestly, I looked at D, and I just started crying. Like, tears coming down my face, because it had been over 2 years since we recorded together, and I didn't know, where Captain Rex was. I didn't know if Ahsoka knew where he was, and yeah, and so I just started crying. I was so happy that Captain Rex was back.
Yeah. And D, tell us about that call. How'd you get that call?
Well, it kind of took my breath away because I mean, the only hopeful thing I had was that Rex hadn't been killed off in the Clone Wars, and so there was still some hope of that coming back into the story. So I was more than thrilled because I want to, I want to see what this guy's still got in him, and I think the fans are really going to see that along with a few of his clone friends. I guess I'm not going to tell you much more about that. I'll leave that to you to tell you more of the details. But
look at those guys.
As you saw, to see these fellas going up, these old lions going up an Imperial Walker is it's pretty awesome. But to me, more importantly, I mean, this is a very exciting trailer as someone who loves Star Wars in the old way and as well as in the new manifestations. I mean, it looks just fantastic, and it feels fun and energetic. It's got the drama and the fun, the life that the cast already brings to it, and it is very exciting.
It is
what
exciting.
is coming up.
And in fact, it's so exciting, I know that there are people here that would love to ask you all questions. So is it all right if we take some questions from this council right here?
And one more thing I want to say before we get to that is because I appreciate you guys loving the trailer and something. I've tried to keep so many parts of Clone Wars alive in different ways. It's not just important to you guys, there are people I work with, they're important to me. Every trailer I ever did on Star Wars, Clone Wars, and now Rebels has been done by my personal friend Kevin Yost. We used to get together and play Star Wars role-playing game before we ever had jobs at Lucasfilm together. So I always make sure that Kevin is personally responsible for these type of cinematic trailers. And I just think once again for your reaction, Kev, if you're here, you've done a phenomenal job. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Mark and Elliot, are you guys out there?
Yes, I'm over here. I have Lori.